Awesome, awesome. Welcome, welcome to Deal Driven Live, where we teach you every week on Thursdays, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, a little bit more about real estate investing. So guys, this is not a webinar. This is a meeting. So if possible, turn those cameras on. Today, I have got Miss Chloe Long. Chloe, tell everybody what you do here at Deal Driven.
So I post for all the social medias and I work for DealDriven support. Hopefully I'll be doing more, but that's just the start of it.
Absolutely. So we wanted to show you the face behind the support here at Deal Driven, and what we do here. So we're going to let everybody get on. So guys, this is live every time, and I welcome questions all the time from anything that anybody has to ask me. I've been a real estate investor for a little over 10 years. I've completed close to 1,700 real estate transactions. No, I am not a licensed real estate agent and or broker. I just invest in real estate. So I would love to show you guys how to utilize Deal Driven in your real estate investing business to help you reach some of the dreams and the goals that you're looking to have. Also explain some of the information in here. I am also one of the co-founders of Deal Driven, and the main reason why we built Deal Driven, because as real estate investors, there were things that we just needed. I did not want to go to 5 different places to find different things that I was looking for. I wanted to go to one central location, be able to get all the information I'm looking for so I can make great decisions on real estate investing deals. So as you guys are popping on, it's so much easier when you share your screen. That way I get to see you, or I get to see cute little puppies. Oh, how adorable, Ted. Love it, love it. So as you're popping on, guys, turn those cameras on. And when you have questions, there is a reactions button here in the bottom of your screen. All you got to do is raise your Zoom hand and I'll be able to bring you on live. But I promise to answer as many questions as I possibly can. You know, as a real estate investor, I've done multiple back-end strategies such as wholesaling, fix and flips, subject twos, sandwich lease options, owner finance, land flipping. I'm mostly in the residential space, not commercial. So that's kind of my expertise is in residential up to a fourplex. So a quad. I still kind of put those in the residential category, but I would love to show you how to utilize our technology for your real estate investing business. So first off, I want to go over a couple strategies with you guys, as I know we have a lot of new people on, or people that's been investing for a while, but I would like to go over them with you so that you can kind of understand how you can use this software to get to what you're looking for. So has anybody on this call heard of wholesaling real estate? Okay, great. I'm going to give you a quick example. So when you're wholesaling real estate, what you're doing is you're placing a property under contract. Generally, when you're placing a property under contract, you want to be with the actual owner of record on the property. So you're not necessarily like putting it under contract with a realtor or another wholesaler. You're looking to be the owner of record. Then you're putting the property under contract at said price. Then you're finding a back-end buyer at a
You're
higher
breaking up
price,
real bad.
and you are assigning the property to that end buyer. So be careful when you're wholesaling. You are not selling properties. You are assigning your equitable interest in your contract to an end buyer. A lot of people that are wholesaling make the mistake of, hey, I'm selling houses. You're not. Only licensed real estate agents and or brokers in that state with a license are allowed to sell someone else's property. So is everybody hearing me okay? Can y'all give me a thumbs up? Okay, great, great. So why is using DealDriven so important when wholesaling? So when you're wholesaling, you're generally looking for somebody that has maybe they have some distress in their property or in their lives, such as maybe they're in pre-foreclosure, right?
Julie, your sound is out.
Okay, let me switch to,
Now you're froze.
is that better? Can you hear me better now, Stephen? Hello, hello?
I think it's Steven because I can hear you fine.
Okay, okay, good. I was like, everything seems to be working on my end.
Sound is good on my end as well.
Okay, good. Thank you, guys. All right. So what you're utilizing DealDriven for is to find people that may need motivation to sell, right? Like I said, people in pre-foreclosures, tax delinquents, vacant properties, out-of-state owners, tired landlords. So utilizing DealDriven, you're going to be able to find these people, not only find them, get all the information about the property, right? You could skip trace them to find their phone numbers. So you're able to cold call them. Well, really, if you're looking to fix and flip a house, when you're fixing and flipping a home, you're not wholesaling it. You are buying it in cash, right? Or with a hard money loan, however you're buying it. Then you are renovating the property and then you are reselling that property at a higher price. Whereas in wholesaling, I know that you guys probably a lot of times hear these terms, no money down in real estate. They're generally referring to maybe a wholesale deal or like a sandwich lease option. Okay. Also, it can be used for subject twos. Whenever you're purchasing properties subject to their existing mortgage, or you're buying one free and clear, owner finance, or a sandwich lease option where you sign a lease agreement, then you put another lease agreement on the back end, and you're sandwiching those two together. Land flipping, the whole 9 yards. So what I would like to do first is see if we have any questions about maybe what type of real estate strategy you're using. And if you're using those, I would love to show you how I would market in my area if I were you. Again, just raise those Zoom hands, and no question is too big or small. We want to answer as much as possible here today. Go ahead, Donald Washington, Chloe, call the names out when they come up, please.
Yeah. So during the free trial, just playing around with it a little bit, getting the hang of it. I just want to know, really just want to know which ones to go for. You know what I'm saying? So I know exactly where to go for. Like Thailand, I know pre-foreclosure, like I know what button to go for, how to do it, so I can be able to pinpoint and start doing my calling and all that.
Gotcha. So what type of exit strategy are you planning to do?
Wholesaling.
Wholesaling. Perfect. By the way, people say wholesaling's for the new investors. Still one of my absolute favorite things to do. I love wholesaling, and I'll never stop doing them. But Donald, let me just take you live here.
All right.
Because I want to walk you through the app looking from like my eyes. So where are you located?
Well, I was doing both. Well, I'm in the Plymouth County, so I live in Abington. That's like 30 minutes away from Boston.
Abington, Virginia?
No, Abington, Mass. Yeah, sure.
Okay, so what I've done is I've went to the lead source, okay? So I am going to look for a list inside of DealDriven in Abington, Massachusetts. So just follow along with me, guys, and I'll show you some great leads to pull if I'm in Abington. And by the way, Donald, what I found is sometimes investing in areas that are are not major cities, maybe like right outside major cities, sometimes are even better than going into those downtown areas.
Mm-hmm.
So what I'm going to do is right here, I am searching 1 mile around the city center of Abington. Okay. Well, I want to look a little bit further out. So I might take it to, I don't know, 20 miles or 15 miles around the city center of Abington. Then what I want to do is start something called list stacking. When I'm list stacking, I'm not just wanting to go, I don't, as a wholesaler, it would not be a good idea for me to just like literally call every person in Abington, Mass, because frankly, not everybody's motivated to sell. We want to get after the most motivated individuals. So then I'm going to go to search type. Under search type, I'm going to go ahead and first think about this, Donald. Do you think somebody that has a vacant house in Abington that lives out of state and that is non-owner occupied is somebody that might want to sell their house?
Absolutely.
So here's a great list to pull. This is a very detailed list. So instead of clicking any here, Donald, you want to click, I want the houses to be vacant. I want the owner of record to be out of state and non-owner occupied, meaning they own a property that they don't live in and the owner's out of state. And you know, Massachusetts, it's pretty cold there right now, huh?
Yeah, yes. Getting there.
Is it a good idea to leave a house sitting vacant in Massachusetts? It's never a good idea. So this is a great list for you to start with. You're then going to go to choose additional features.
Uh-huh.
Make sure you're picking townhomes, duplex, triplexes, and quads.
Mm-hmm.
And possibly there are a few row houses in Mass, not that many. Now, what Donald had mentioned to me is his strategy is to go and do wholesale deals. So generally your profits are in the equity of the property. So you want there to at least be 35% equity or more. Remember that equity is the difference between what someone owes in their property and what the property is worth. So if they owed what the property is worth, there's no way for Donald to make money on a wholesale deal. Right, Donald?
Yeah.
So here under equity, this is just stacking down and more and more and more. I want them to have at least 35% equity or more. Okay. That way, that's where Donald's profit kind of lies, inside of that equity. So now we have got a very detailed list of 78 properties here. I'm going to click show results. And wow, here they are right here. Okay. All of these properties. Now they range from 2 million down to 500,000, 400,000. When you're looking at some of these properties, Donald, that are on the coast, these are probably vacation homes.
Okay.
Where people are having vacation homes on the coast.
Yeah.
Through here.
Mm-hmm.
Now, because probably owners don't live in state and it's non-owner occupied, they're probably not hugely motivated. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah.
So after looking at these numbers, I think I'm going to go and detail this list down a little bit further, because I'm going to have you skip trace these. And I don't want you wasting money on properties that I don't think you're probably going to be able to get a deal on. Okay.
Okay, of course.
So I'm going to go back here. And I'm going to, when we're here, I want to show you guys, let's look at the price ranges of these a little bit.
Okay.
You're seeing 500, 600, 500, but then they jump up to the millions. I'm assuming that's like rich people that own vacation homes, probably. So I want to move this search down a little bit so that I'm able to pick the people that I think might be motivated. So for here, I'm going to go to price range, okay, which is valuation. And I want to say, I don't want the properties to be worth more than, let's say, 700,000. So if you'll see,
Most.
took it down to 56 and it got rid of some of these, some of the expensive properties. Now you might be wondering, Julie, why did I leave these cheaper properties here? And they're these still in the vacation area? That's because obviously there's homes here that go for millions of dollars, but then you've got these onesie twosies for a lot less. I would go after those, right? Because you can also wholesale to like vacation owners, to people that buy Airbnbs, things like that. So I'm going to select all of these records and add them to a list. Donald, you might want to call these vacant, not whatever you want to call it, non-owner, out of state owner, whatever you want to call it. Okay.
Yeah.
Then I'm going to confirm. Now, as what this is doing is this is compiling a list of the search that you just made. Okay.
All right.
So we're sitting here looking at it right now. And as I'm looking at it, it turns blue. That means it's done. Now, once it's done, it's going to take you to this screen. Here are all your properties that you that we just looked up. Here is these one by one by one. Now I want to show you how to look at this information. Okay.
Okay.
Let's go to 34 Cedar Lane. I want to look at the individual information about this property. So this property is a 2-bedroom, 1-bath, only 664 square foot, built in 1940. So it's a small house, right?
Mhm.
We know Janie is the owner of record, and her mailing address is in Redlands, California. Okay.
Mhm.
She bought this property in 2018 for $167,000 from Donald Lee Roberts. Okay. You'll see here she owes about $109,000 on the property. When you're wanting to know what the value of the property is, a quick way to look at that is the valuation. Okay. This valuation is similar to like a Zestimate or any other website. This derives from the National Title Service. The National Title Service is saying, we deem that we are 98% positive that this property is worth about 512. Okay. So that's a quick number of this property.
Yeah.
I could also go and pull comparables and look for properties that sold around this place, which is helpful because sometimes anytime you're looking at like a valuation, what it's doing is it's taking everything around it and averaging it out. But if I want to go and look a little bit closer, I might go in here. Ideally, you would like a recent sale to have happened on these streets, right? But I can tell because of the way that the roads are, this is kind of all in the same neighborhood. So this corner lot sold for $375. And why is this important, guys? Because remember, I told you the 512 is the valuation, but it's looking at a lot more information than just what's in this neighborhood. As far as proximity goes, the only ones I would be looking at are these three. Do you see that, Donald?
Which ones?
These 3 red properties.
Okay. Okay.
Now,
With comps, you know what I'm saying? Which one do I target? You know what I'm saying? Like last sold and all that.
well, that's what I'm showing you right now.
Okay.
First, you want to go off proximity. Okay. So this house right here
Okay.
is get like hop, skip, and a jump away.
Uh-huh.
This one right here, hop, skip, and a jump away, right?
Mm-hmm.
The average price is $362. Well, if you would have made a buy-in decision to buy this property at $500,000, do you see how far you'd be off?
Yeah.
because like Zestimate and all these other companies, they're pulling stuff from 2 miles away. Well, what's
Yeah.
over here is not comparable to what's over here.
Okay.
I mean, actually, these two properties are not even comparable to this property because this property's sitting on the water.
Yeah.
I mean, on the Jones River, so in Kingston Bay. So I would say, here's your closest two subject properties. The next thing I'd be looking at is the lot size and the building square footage and the bedrooms and the bathrooms. So this one on Atwood Street, it's 2-bedroom, one bath, same as ours. This other one's a 2-bedroom, 1 bath, 700 square feet. So your average price is 362. So on this house, I would always be looking at this, because otherwise, if you went to like some other websites that look at like all the things around it and don't go detail it out, you can make a terrible buying decision. And in this case, buy 150 grand.
Mm.
Okay. Now that I have my list here, you can see all of these. You're like, Julie, what would I do from this point? First thing I would do is select all of these. And I would do an owner email phone lookup. That is going to consume about 1/3 of a credit. That's somewhere around 32 cents a credit. So this is going to cost me 18.67 credits. So literally while I'm talking, I'm waiting for this to kind of run in the background for me. And I'm going to refresh my screen right here, right now.
Yeah.
Check this out. 2 phone numbers and an email. Isn't this crazy?
Yeah.
Do you know what I used to have to do this? Back in the old days, you would literally have to go to the courthouse, rummage through tax records to find this information, go to another source to find their phone number, go to another source to get their emails. This literally can all be done in just a matter of minutes. So Donald, if I were you, that is one of the hottest lists that you can pull in your market right now.
All right. What about pre-foreclosures?
Pre-foreclosures are good. Okay. But I want to give you a warning. You were able to wholesale pre-foreclosures, right? There's nothing to say that you can't do that. But generally when you're wholesaling, you're placing a property under contract. Then you're selling your equitable interest to an end buyer, right? Well, let's say you go to somebody and they're in pre-foreclosure and they're a month from losing their house back to the bank, which is terrible, right?
Of course.
So let's say you put it under contract and your back end buyer backs out of the deal. Do you know what's going to happen to that seller?
The seller's going to lose their home still,
They're
right?
going to lose their home. So it's not that you can't do it. I don't wholesale pre-foreclosures. Only because it's like, unless it's with a buyer that I've used a lot and that I know that they know the situation, because I'm not going to go to somebody and say, I'm going to help you out of pre-foreclosure and then set them up to lose their house.
Okay.
Now you could go to many other trainings and hear something opposite, but that's my opinion about it.
Okay. Because I've been getting emails regarding from DealDriven saying pre-foreclosures are like the pre-foreclosures are very hot, like, you know, go after those and stuff. But like, now that you tell me, you know what I'm saying? So I should just use those particular things that you just showed me to go
That
for.
tax delinquents, tired landlords, the whole 9 yards. Now, also one thing to imagine, if you've been doing this a while and you've got buyers that you know are committed, right? Like I have some buyers that I say, hey, they're going to lose their house in 30 days if you don't, do good on your word. And I know that, I'm okay with it. But I would make sure that you have solid buyers on the back end. Otherwise, you could fix and flip them. Otherwise, you could do a subject to on them by catching up their payments in the rears, getting them caught up, and then buying their property subject to their existing mortgage, maybe doing a wrap on the back end. So those are some ideas of what you could do. Or straight purchase it in cash, or get a hard money loan.
Okay, so basically what you just told me, I can use with the search radius and all the other stuff you just showed me. I can use that for any town besides my town. I can use it for any other city.
Absolutely, you can. Absolutely. I mean, that's how I'm able to look up deals that aren't even in my area, is by by doing that. Now, I would suggest if you're fairly new to real estate,
Mhm.
here's another piece of advice. You can take it how you want it. A lot of people talk about astro flipping in another town. Guys, that's marketing propaganda to an extent. Those are buzzwords. Truthfully, it's easier to start wholesaling in your neck of the woods and actually go to appointments, take pictures, and build relationships.
Okay.
Once you've done that, then I would expand. Because if you start expanding at day one, your focus is on way too many other places and not where you are. So I say perfect your model at home and then expand.
Okay.
Because a lot of us, and even I tend to do it. You ever heard of that like squirrel mentality? What was that cartoon where they're like squirrel, squirrel? Like, and you're constantly like getting caught, like looking at things. So you just got to be careful, because consistency is what makes money in this business.
Okay.
Great questions, Donald, and congratulations. And we at DealDriven are here. Chloe's here. So if you have any questions, Chloe, how do they reach you?
You guys can reach me at chloe@dealdriven.com, or you can contact support@dealdriven.com.
Absolutely. So we have somebody here every day to kind of help you. So we're there. Thank you, Donald. All right, Doug Black.
Hey, Julie, can you tell me one more time, if you're wholesaling, what's a good, you said vacant, out of state, non-owner occupied, delinquent, tax delinquent. What was the last one you said?
I'll just show you. Is that good?
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, that'd be great.
All right. What, let's just pull up some different areas. It's always fun. I like looking at different areas. If you want to look up an individual property, you go here, but go home, search for property leads nationwide using filter search. Where are you at, honey?
I'm in Winfield, Louisiana.
Oh, you know what? I have a camp in Louisiana.
Okay.
And over there near, you know where Opelousas is?
Yeah, I'm more north. I'm about
Yeah.
2 hours north of there.
All right. So Winfield, Louisiana, you could do whatever around the city center, maybe 20.
Yeah, it's a really small, it's kind of a, rural community, so not a big population. Yeah, 20 is probably good.
20.
Maybe even further out, because I'm seeing where it ends up. Like you see Natchitoches over at the south west, if you go past Natchitoches. Yeah, there we go.
Okay. So yeah, you can go all the way up to 50.
Okay.
So one thing I might look at is tired landlords.
Hired landlords. Okay.
Yeah. So what I call that is a non-owner occupied property that they completely own the property free and clear, and they bought it before January 1st of 2006. That's a good one.
Okay.
I'm gonna clear this search. I want to go to maybe tax delinquents. This is not available in all states. The state of Louisiana does not post tax delinquencies. You will find that in certain states. Okay.
Okay.
High equity, low equity, free and clear, vacant. They don't even have to be out of state owners. If the properties are sitting back, like I know one thing about Louisiana, just like we were talking about in Boston, you shouldn't be leaving a property vacant. You sure don't want to leave it vacant in Louisiana.
Not if you like it. No.
Not if you like it whatsoever, because I mean, the humidity is so high, it gets very, very hot.
Yep. Yep. No
You know,
doubt.
because I spend a lot of money to keep my camp conditioned summer and winter. I know that for sure. Then I'd go to the filters. single family homes, townhomes, duplex, triplex, quads. You don't have row houses in there.
Okay.
Let's see. You might want to say, I want them to have at least, are you looking to wholesale possibly?
Yes.
Okay. So you want to have at least 35% equity or more. You could do year built. You could do bedrooms and bathrooms if you wanted to show results. You've kind of got quite a few there.
Yeah.
Dude, you could take over this whole town of Winfield.
Yeah. That's surprising. It's such a little bitty town, but yeah, there's quite a few, isn't there?
Oh yeah. Also, if you're little, you're in this town, can I give you some advice on marketing here?
Sure.
Okay.
It's like a perfect, in the training you talked about having like a mixture of older homes, new homes. There's a lot of, old, really, southern plantation, big houses in the surrounding areas, some junky stuff, and then some newer stuff. So those are big mixture, which is good.
Absolutely. So, really when you talk about marketing, right? Especially when you're like in a small town like this or a big town, the opportunity that he has, because it's a small town, is that you can touch almost every address. So I would have bandit signs.
Okay.
I'd call everybody. I'd put a note on everybody's door. And I'd let
Okay.
everybody know in town exactly what you do, because you know how small towns are.
Oh yeah.
At all the little grocery stores, I'd put, you buy houses.
Okay.
The whole 9 yards.
Yeah. It won't take long because my wife is from here and we just moved here back from Houston to retire, kind of. And she knows everyone in town and they know me now, and I don't really know them, but
Well, you coming into a small town, they're going to want to get to know you real quick, I'm sure.
there you go.
Also,
right.
if you're wholesaling, you want to figure out who owns the most property in your town, because they're probably the landlords there,
Okay.
right?
Well, that's wonderful.
Let me show you how to do that.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to go to this one right here. I'm going to say find an investor. You may have to ask around like this just because this is so rural. You may not find a ton of people here, like through an internet search. That would be
Okay.
more of an ask around type thing. Like if you were in Boston, Massachusetts, you'd see thousands of them, right? But because you're in such a small town, it's only as good as the tax records of that parish.
Okay. Okay.
Great question. Great question.
Thank you so much for your help.
Yes. All right, more questions, guys. I'm loving this. I love talking about actual properties. You could ask questions about DealDriven, about real estate investing. I'll help you to my best of my abilities. Nobody? Vernon, you are smiling. All right, Donald Washington.
Yes. I'm looking at tired single family landlords. Could I do that as well
Yes.
with the same options, that you showed me?
Yeah, but let me show you this. I made the tired like these easy buttons here.
Mm.
Let me show you something different about the easy buttons.
All right.
I'm going to clear this search. I'm going to put in, forget, Aiden, what did you say it was? Arden?
Abington,
Abington, Mass.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is the easiest. Everybody see these buttons on the top here? These are your easy buttons. So literally you could say tired single family landlords. all your filters are already in here for you. Okay. So you don't even have to filter it out anymore. But if you want to say, you know what, I don't want them to be worth more than 500,000. It brings your list down.
Okay.
Okay. Maybe you might want to say, you know what, I want them to have at least 3 bedrooms. Oh, not negative something. Maybe I want them to have at least 2 bathrooms. Because generally, like if you're a wholesaler, you're assigning the property to an end buyer. Most flippers like to sell houses that are at least 3 bedroom, 2 bathrooms. Makes sense? So it's a perfect list for you to use, Donald.
So tired single family landlords is the way for me, and it was the other ones that you showed me.
Vacant, non-owner occupied, tax delinquents.
Yeah. I do
Tired
tax delinquent as
landlords.
well.
And also, you don't have to do just vacant out-of-state owners. You could do vacant with in-state owners, but do vacant, non-owner occupied.
Okay.
But I would put that price filter in there every time because you're going to see a lot of vacation homes.
What filter?
The price filter.
Okay, so the valuation, should I just keep it at 500?
Yeah, but it's depending on where they are, because like 500,000 in North Georgia is a lot to pay for a house, right?
Okay.
500,000 in Boston, Massachusetts may not be that much money. So you really want to really know your areas, right?
Okay.
Because what's expensive for me in my town is not what's expensive for you. So like if you just saw when I was pulling those houses in Louisiana, those houses are $40,000. And let me tell you, because I know Louisiana a little bit, they're good houses. For those of you that live in some of these more expensive cities, that should blow your mind.
Yeah.
But they're $40,000 houses or your $500,000 houses.
Yeah.
It just really depends. You've got to know what your area is and what your basic zone is. All right, Mr. Hernandez.
I'm sorry about that. Quick question for wholesaler. Can you give us a sample how to find cash buyers in your area? One of the things that I noticed is I was able to put some names. The date actually that is reflected in the software was kind of updated. We're talking about maybe 2 from 2020. Area is very hot. I'm in Columbus, Ohio. So if you show something that
Yes, we are updating the cash buyer search as we speak. But can I give you some advice on how to find cash buyers?
Sure.
Number 1, look for your local RIA groups. Your local RIA groups. Go on everything that you see for sale. For rent.
Okay.
Call your for rents, especially call the ones that say lease to own or rent to own. Okay. Those are going to be your buyers that are buying houses, turning around and putting somebody in their rent to own or to buy or to rent. Okay. Also, do you know the quickest way to find cash buyers, truthfully? Get a house under contract, put it up for sale, and they'll come to you. Just make sure when they're calling you, you know that whether or not they're a cash buyer or they're another wholesaler trying to daisy chain your deal. You do not want daisy chains in your deal. And what I mean by that, guys, is one wholesaler putting another wholesaler's house under contract to sell it to their end buyer, right? So when you're vetting your cash buyers, you want to see proof of funds. Here's a quick way to determine it. Oh, what closing attorney do you use? I think in Ohio, you're a title state. What title company do you normally use? If they sit there and they go, they probably aren't a buyer.
Makes sense. Thanks.
Yes, sir. Great question. All right, Patricia Scott.
Hi, Julie. I'm thinking about going after tax delinquent land, and I'm a newbie. I don't know what I'm doing. So I'm wondering, is the purchase contract the same? And what are the pitfalls? What do I need to look out for?
Can I ask you first why you're wanting to flip land?
I don't know. It just seems like it's a little less, problematic. I mean, either they want it or they don't. You don't have to worry about, all the things that could possibly be, wrong in a house.
Yeah. So you're talking about wholesaling land, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So here's been my experience, Patricia. It's actually a lot more difficult than a house.
Oh, really?
Okay. Land takes a lot longer to sell.
Okay.
Number one. However, it's a little bit easier to acquire.
Okay.
So like with a house, you may do a 30-day inspection period and a 30-day close, right? Or a 45-day close or a 20-day close. You cannot do that with land. You need at least 3 months. And it better you're purchasing, you better be below 50% of what it's worth if you're going to actually sell it.
Okay.
And the reason is because the buyers generally are buying it to build something or for generational wealth purposes. The buyer is going to have to go to the county, parish, or city, see what's allowed on that property. It also matters if there's direct water and sewer to that property, or is it on a well, or is it on a septic tank? And if it has a well and a septic tank, your well has to be tested, your septic tank has to be tested.
Okay.
So land, I found, can be easier to acquire, but harder to sell.
Okay. And
just because of the limited buyers for land, because most people aren't builders.
Okay. And the purchase contract that you guys provide, can you use that for that, or
You absolutely can. Just make sure you're adding parcel numbers.
Okay.
So like the address, and then you'll see on here. Let me see if I can find it for you. Do you see here in the notes? So the address, and then you'd be parcel number 111-86271.
Okay.
So I would just add that to the address part, like 123 Main Street, Atlanta, Georgia, 30506, parcel number 119321.
Okay. Got it. Okay.
Yeah. And then just change I would have probably at least a 60-day inspection period on that. And you can tell the people that you're buying it from, right? Or the people that you're buying it from. It's because you got to know what's available to happen on that piece of land.
Okay. All right. Well, that's all good to know. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you. Great questions, guys. I'm loving these questions. It makes this call so wonderful. So other questions, guys, let's talk about some real estate. Y'all, 2023 is going to be nuts. You're going to see generational wealth move in 2023. And let me tell you, I'm ready. I'm ready. So who is good? Stephen, you got a question? All right. Creative financing more than wholesaling is what somebody put in there. Ted, I do creative financing myself. I love sub twos, owner finance, sandwich lease options, wraps, the whole 9 yards. And actually, a lot of trainings will tell you to go to expired listings and for sell by owners. Have you noticed that, Ted? you know, that it's easier to find deals looking for them the way wholesalers and flippers look for deals than it is to go after FSBOs and expireds. You get better deals. I never understood why people that teach creative financing teach to go after expired and FSBOs, even though they're still a good lead source, right? But they're not as motivated. I want equity in my creative deals if possible. And I want someone to make a move. I don't want to sit there and hem and haw with somebody for 3 or 6 months. So that's kind of why I look at that, Ted. So for me, utilizing DealDriven, like for a sub 2 deal, right? Ted, take your thing off mute so I can just talk to you. It's the bottom left.
There we go. How's that?
Good, good. So I've put in 2 weeks, 6 houses under contract sub 2. You know how I found them? They were pre-foreclosures.
Oh,
So what I'm doing is I'm getting a hold of the sellers because I want to help people to buy their home prior to them losing it back to the bank.
right.
And then I'm catching their payments up. Okay, then I'm doing a sub 2 on it. And then I'm wrapping it and turning it into an owner, like a lease option on the back end. And sometimes when their reinstatement amounts are a little higher than what you want to put down, because I like to stay between like 5 and 10% down on a sub 2, right? I actually get on the phone with the seller and the bank and negotiate the reinstatement fee to a lower price.
Do you get the down from the buyer after you close on it then? So it's
I do
legal
it
that way?
all. I do it all simultaneously.
But you have to pay off the arrears before you do any business on the lease option though.
Well, you can be securing the buyer on the back end while you're closing on it.
Right.
So generally though, if I'm buying a sub 2, if I've promised to buy it, I'm going to have my down payment money and I'm going to secure it anyway, because I already know it's a deal. But obviously I'll get my money back quickly. Okay. Because I'm starting to look for that back end buyer immediately.
Right. Do you do any partnering with people that are new at it right away or? do you
Oh
guys
yeah,
do that?
absolutely. I own and operate a company called DealDriven.
Yep.
Where I partner on creative financing deals, wholesale deals, and fix and flips. And
Oh,
on the creative deals, I don't just partner with people, put the money up. I handle the entire back end. My office does. If anybody would like to know more about partnering with us, that's not what this call's about, but it's a good way to learn, educate, and have the money to put down on deals. Chloe, if you would put in the chat a way for them to schedule a call with one of my team members. But yeah, absolutely.
because that's going to be real popular, I would think, with the ebb and flow with the market, the housing
That's
market.
what's
right
been
now.
so crazy the last little bit. Do you know that like in March of this year, there was 4 million Americans in pre-foreclosure? You know how many there are now? This is sad. 11 million. 11 million. Our American people are suffering right now. And if there's any way, and even if you're flipping a house or whatever, guys, that you can go in and buy their home prior to them losing it back to the bank, you're saving somebody's credit, right?
Yeah.
And giving them an opportunity to move on to the next stage of their life in a better position. Because nobody wants the sheriff's office pulling you out of your house and throwing your stuff by the curb.
Yeah.
So, but unfortunately, I mean, we're seeing a lot of that. And 2, as the interest rates rise, I don't know if anybody's noticing your marketplace, houses are not flying off the shelves anymore. Y'all noticing that?
Yeah.
That's because there are less buyers being able to be approved to buy these homes. So house prices are going down. A lot of people can't make their mortgage payments. Some people need to get their equity out. That's why I still think you're still can wholesale. You're still going to be able to flip in this market, but your big play is going to be creative financing. And if you want to be an investor and make money, no matter what the economy is, It's understanding the different exit strategies, and how to help people the most, because it's not helping people, it's helping people solve their house problems,
Right.
right? Because I would never put the onus on the seller. We always put it on the house. All right, Doug, you got a question?
Yeah, Julie, on your partnership situation you just mentioned, you know, just seeing, for example, the area that I live in, would that be something that would work for you? Or is there certain areas, you know, I know you got to do rehabs and all that. Is there certain areas that you would consider? How's that work?
There is. I would need to, you're talking about, is it Winfield?
Yeah,
If you don't mind, I mean, yes, I would. I definitely want to look at the area.
right. Because if you don't have a presence there, it would be, you know, it'd be hard for you to do a rehab and go through all that. So,
Well, no, but you're my business partner, so you're going to help me with that.
okay, I'm interested.
I'll be your
Because
business partner in Minneapolis.
yeah, so I mean that's kind of how we do it, because I'm not looking to just educate, I'm looking to do deals, you know. So you got
Right.
Shreveport, you got Alexandria, which is huge. See,
Monroe,
like this is where I live.
Natchitoches.
This is where my place is right here, Crotch Springs. You see here, I'm on this lake right here. Well, see, when I'm doing business in Louisiana, I go to Opelousas in Lafayette. So you'd want to go to I don't know how to say that word.
Natchitoches, and then there's Monroe and Alexandria.
So you have a huge area. You just may have to travel, which for me, I have no problem driving for a deal to make money. And it don't hurt my
Yeah, it's
feelings
not that
whatsoever.
far at all, really. You know, half hour.
Sorry, I
so.
can't pronounce them. My husband's from Louisiana and I'm from Georgia. So none of the words there match the way that they're spelled.
No, they're challenging, no doubt.
But yeah, just
Yeah.
schedule a call with our team. And we'll go through that. But all right, Hugh. Let's talk about some real estate, Hugh.
So when doing pre-foreclosures, how do I approach them?
What are you doing, Hugh?
Okay, so how do you
So,
approach some?
I wanted to find out for the pre-foreclosure deals that you're talking about, how do you negotiate a deal where you're not giving up most of the equity? Because yes, they're motivated. Yes, they're going to be foreclosed on, but how are you setting it up where they're signing over the properties to you and you're only catching up from what I understand, you're only making it, you're only reinstating. So you're catching up, making it current. Are you giving them money in hand as well?
Sometimes yes, sometimes no.
Okay, so in like, I know every deal is different. I know everything is, you know, everybody has their own motivation and they're driven differently. But I've been sending out the postcards, doing the emails, doing the texting. Just can't seem to get anyone in this market that's willing to even say, yeah, I guess they're being bombarded by everybody else, but I can't get someone to sit down and start the negotiation process. So what am I missing?
So tell me, when you're on the call, what's the objective of that call?
It's going to be a purchase outright, so I can, you know, save
No.
the
Let's take this one step back.
Okay, sorry.
So when you first call them,
yes.
what type of conversation are you trying to have with them?
I just want to see if they have any interest at all in selling the property. I can be a resource for them. I can close quickly. I can solve some of their problems. You know, I'm trying to be a problem solver and give them options. But
Okay.
It's like trying to lock someone down to have that first conversation is like almost impossible.
Do you mind? Do you guys mind if I do some role playing with Hugh? All right, Hugh, be the seller, okay?
Okay.
Ring, ring.
Hey, hello. Who is this?
This is Julie. Hey, Hugh, how are you doing today?
A little stressed there, Julie. What's going on?
Well, you know what? Actually, I received your name from a list that sort of leads me to believe that you might need to sell your property.
I I don't know, Julia. I've been bombarded by so many people, man, and they're making all these promises, and my time's kind of short right now.
Well,
What you
why do you think everybody's bombarding you like that?
Oh, all these people have been promising me that they can help me, and right now the date's approaching for this foreclosure, and no one's come through yet.
Okay, so you're in foreclosure. So what's your goal there? Are you wanting help to stay in the home, or do you think you might be looking to sell it, or what do you think you need to do there, Hugh?
I just want to kind of just save my credit, get some of the equity out. Just don't
Gotcha.
want to just give it up to the bank like that. You know, I'm running out of options.
Oh, I totally get. I mean, banks never lose, right?
Yeah, that's the house, right?
Yeah. Well, you know what? I do specialize in helping people just like you, Hugh, by buying their home prior to them losing it back to the bank. And in a lot of cases, putting a little bit of money in their pocket so they're able to move on to the next stage of their life in a better position. So, you know, I'm not 100% sure that we'll be able to work something out, but I do promise you I'll give it a try. Would that work, Hugh?
You're gonna give me like what? You're gonna buy it at the regular retail price that I would sell it for?
I'll be honest with you, Hugh, I don't know until I look at it.
Okay, that's
So
fair.
can I come out there today at like 6 p.m. or tomorrow at 4?
Nice. Yeah, that could work. It could possibly work.
Which one?
4
Okay. So you want me to come tomorrow at 4 p.m., right?
4 p.m. tomorrow. Sounds like a plan.
Okay. I'm going to go ahead and text you my cell phone number. That way, you know, you have everything. And I'll just meet you out there at 4 tomorrow and we'll see what we can work out.
All right. Thanks so much, Julie.
So Hugh, your goal on that first phone call is not to do a deal with somebody.
True.
Your goal on that first phone call is to build a relationship with them.
Rapport.
So all I was doing was just listening to you and letting you tell me the issues you've had with other people. I'm not trying to act like some big real estate investor. I want to be Julie from down the road and you're just Hugh. I'm not promising you anything.
Right.
Also remember this, when you're going to schedule an appointment with a seller, never ask when they can meet.
Suggest the times.
Always offer 2 times, because
Right.
when you say, when can you meet? You're just opening yourself up for an objection. When you say, can you meet today or tomorrow at this time or this time? They're over here thinking, what am I doing tonight at 6? Or what am I doing tomorrow at 4? Instead of worrying whether or not they want to meet you or not.
That's true too. I like that technique.
And then also I got you to tell me that you were in foreclosure. I knew it, but I wasn't going to come out and tell you.
Well, I kind of helped a little bit for the circumstances because we're online here and for the benefit of other people.
No, it's perfect. Most of the time what you're going to hear is, what list are you talking about?
Gotcha.
And then I'd say, well, I did notice that you were, you know, in pre-foreclosure. And that's what I said. I specialize in helping people just like you avoid foreclosure by buying their home prior to them losing it back to the bank. And in a lot of cases, put a little bit of money in your pocket so you're able to move on to the next stage of your life.
Yeah. So each deal I know is separate, and it's an individual thing, and you got to.
It's just talking to them, Hugh. Don't be, the thing is, if you want to stand out from everybody else, you got to be somebody different than everybody else, you know?
True.
Because everybody calls it acts like, I'm some big bad real estate investor. People aren't in real estate. When you say I'm a real estate investor, they're just thinking, oh, this person's just going to take advantage of me. You know?
So in your practice, in your experience, I should say, do you feel that the people that you're contracting with, mostly the ones that you said you put under deposit recently, are they just basically just wanting to get out from under the circumstance and have a little bit of money in their pocket, or what works best for you?
Well, it all comes down to really what I'm able to do. If at all possible, I always like to put a little bit of money. I like to put a little bit of money in their pocket. Right. Because when you go rent somewhere, you got first, last month, you got your credit's probably messed up. So you got the power bill deposit, the water bill deposit. So if possible, I want to try to put some money in their pocket.
That makes sense.
However, there's some times when I can't.
Really? How do you structure that?
I literally give them what I can, and that's it to pay off the mortgage.
So that was my other question. Thank you for bringing that up. And I don't want to spend too much time on it. I know other people want to talk as well, but so there's you got to catch them back up, right? And then now do you actually have an agreement in place, and do you file that at the courthouse to protect yourself?
Well, yeah, because I'm actually buying it. So
Subject to, okay.
Or I'm buying it to fix and flip it. Because I do everything depending on the situation, right?
Right. So
whether it's a
fix and flip-
subject to,
Right.
or you're buying it, or you're wholesaling it, which I said earlier, well, I didn't think that was a good idea, but you can.
Right.
That's a title exchange. So once it's under contract, you go and open escrow at a title company or an attorney. It's just some states are title states and some are attorney states.
Correct. So if it's a fix and flip and you're making it current, you have a contract, you've opened up an account at the title company, say in my case, we have a scheduled closing date, right? So if it's a subject to, there's no money exchange according to other than what we agreed to. So it's just a matter of me taking title and recording that. But if it's a fix and flip,
probably you're gonna have closing costs, because if you're not gonna get somebody to pay closing costs that has no money.
that is correct. I mean, apart from the closing cost.
Yeah.
But the fix and flip, are you using now outside money, like, or are we using investor money, or how are we doing that?
You can JV it with somebody. You can
Okay.
borrow a hard money loan. You can partner with somebody. You could use your own cash.
Okay. Well, that'll come later, I assume. But I just want to get to the point where I'm having a discussion. So I'm gonna. Do you find that phone calls work better than postcards and emails, or is it a mixture?
I like text message. I like phone calls.
Got you.
I
Okay.
like putting notes on the door.
Oh wow, I haven't tried that one. Okay.
You just got to be careful where you are.
I know. That's why I haven't tried that one.
I mean, it's different to be like in North Georgia than to be in downtown Atlanta. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And I say that because I live in Georgia. So there's just a difference.
Likewise, I'm in Georgia as well.
Where do you live?
In Gwinnett County.
Oh, perfect. You know, Hall County is a great area too.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of foreclosures come on. Gwinnett seems to still have the most, but you're right. Hall County is
It's a great place to wholesale.
Okay.
And I'll tell you why, because Hall County has so many factories.
Oh, okay.
There are tons and tons of landlords in Hall County.
Okay.
And Gwinnett County.
All right. Well, I'm gonna dig.
Listen, you get a good deal in Hall County or Gwinnett County, you ain't gonna have a problem selling it, Hugh.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you for your encouragement, and I'll check out your partner-driven thing as well. Thank you for your words.
Yes, sir. Have a good day. Good luck.
You do the same. Take care. Bye-bye.
All right, Stephen Pennington.
Okay, hi, Julie. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
You couldn't hear me a while ago. I forgot to turn the mute off my head.
You was calling it my
headphones.
fault. And it was your fault the whole time, Stephen. I'm just kidding.
Okay. Anyway, you mentioned a while ago about that DealDriven was going to have the link to find like cash buyers and stuff. Any idea how long it's going to be before that comes out?
Very soon.
Okay.
Probably within the month. And we're
Okay,
also
cool.
working on some other cool features as well.
Good.
Like actually, we're looking at a feature to where every time a new pre-foreclosure hits the county that you've got searches in, it emails them to you. How cool would that be?
That would be real cool.
Because the reason we
Absolutely.
note it is because the bank files a list pendants, which is a lawsuit, which makes it public record.
Right.
The sooner that you start contacting them from the time that lawsuit's filed, generally is the more money that somebody's going to walk away with as a seller. Because
Right.
every day and every week and every month that goes by to foreclosure, the banks put fees on them. Like this
Oh,
last one I was working with last week, in 5 months, this guy's a veteran, by the way, 68-year-old veteran in Florida. And the banks charged him on a VA loan $43,000
my God.
in fees on top of what he owes on his balance. I
Yeah.
think it's criminal, but
Well, I agree. And the thing is, Ron DeSantis really isn't helping that either. But
well, we're not going to get
I'm-
into politics here. Everybody's got a different
no.
thing, but I'm saying it. People definitely are in a situation when they're in foreclosure. The longer they wait, the worse it is because the banks eat up all their equity like little cookie monsters, just
Right.
eating it away. So
Yeah,
the sooner you can help somebody, the more money they're going to make.
that's true. Yeah, I'm in Lakeland, Florida myself. So in Polk County, we're just east
This
of
one, the one I'm
Tampa.
talking about was in Tampa.
Well, I'm about 30 miles east of Tampa.
I know exactly where you are.
Uh-huh. Oh yeah. So yeah, I've been trying to get some things done, right here in Lakeland. I mean, there's a lot of places right here in Lakeland that, I mean, there's too many to even go after, all at one time. But Tampa, of course, Tampa, the whole Bay Area, Tampa, St. Pete, Clearwater, Sarasota, Bradenton, the whole
I
nine
tell you
yards.
what I love is Clearwater.
Oh yeah, it's my
Dude,
favorite. Yeah.
like if I were you in Lakeland and Clearwater, I don't know if you know this, you can use this software to do driving for dollars.
Oh really?
Absolutely. So like you can literally pull this up on your phone,
Uh-huh.
go to Safari, look up DealDriven on your phone and sign in. Get in your vehicle, and when you're driving around, it geocodes your location, and you can literally look at the house, add it to a list, and it knows
Oh.
exactly all the information about that house.
Oh wow, cool.
So when you're
Yeah.
driving through, we're running a little bit over, but I'm feeling spunky today. Let's keep going.
I have a call with your team at 3:30.
Okay, well, we'll make sure you make that. Let me
Yeah.
see. I'm going to go show you guys what I'm talking about. Not to mention you could do that physically, but you could do this virtually. So I'm going to go to, I'm just going to put Clearwater, Florida is where we were
Okay.
talking about, right?
Right.
You're like, Julie, how do I know what's a good area? Right?
Anywhere in Clearwater is going to be a good area.
I'm going to pull out. Do you see like how weird this is that in this little area right here, everything's blue?
Oh yeah.
There's all these blue dots. These are non-owner occupied properties. Okay. Anytime you see a lot of blue dots, a lot of purple dots,
Uh-huh.
a lot of dots in one location, these are investor properties.
Oh.
When you see neighborhoods with no dots, those are going to be your owner occupied houses, like the neighborhoods. So I can literally just move around. Watch this. I'm sitting in North Georgia and I'm like, you know what? I think Clearwater, Florida is a great place for me to be. Check this out. I'm going to go look here. I'm just going to go ahead and go down here. Okay. So by the way, does this look like a property that you'd want to call on?
I don't think so. Not me anyway.
I would.
Would you?
Oh, absolutely. Because it's in distress.
Well, yeah, yeah.
Okay. So I'm looking for properties that I could physically look at them and know, you know what? There's something about this property that leads me to believe they need to sell their property, right? Overgrown landscape.
Oh, yeah.
Overgrown landscape. I mean, you've even got the ivy growing up the tree right here.
Uh-huh.
So I'm going to sit here and you see this button that says identify.
Uh-huh.
Here it is right here.
Oh, wow.
So I'm going to say add to a new list and call this virtual driving for dollars Clearwater.
Yeah.
I'm going to keep my list going here and I'm literally just going to drive down the road, or you could get in your car.
That is so cool.
Now, do you see like this one? Like that one looks nice. You know what I mean? It's got new siding. It's got new paint. You're wanting to look for abnormalities.
Yeah. Like that one.
Yeah. like that one, like this one I'm about to show you. I
Oh,
could
yeah.
tell you when I looked at this one, those are old windows.
Uh-huh.
Look at the eaves and overhangs are rotten, needs a new roof. When I was on the other side of it, I mean, you could tell.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't even need to drive down. I don't even need to do anything. I'm
How
going to add
often,
this to my
how
list.
how often are these pictures, how often are they updated?
Well, it's based off of Google Earth.
Oh, okay, okay.
So I'm going to search my list. I'm going to add it to my virtual driving for dollars in Clearwater.
Wow.
And what's funny is every property I've clicked on, you see where it says vacant?
Uh-huh.
Our app's already deemed it vacant. So if you'd have pulled a list, you'd have found it anyway. But if you're wanting to talk to somebody about their property, like that one looks good. He keeps up with this is a duplex, looks like.
Oh, yeah.
They look like
And
they
see,
keep up
I
with it
wouldn't mind
okay.
going after that.
Well, that's not bad because see, they don't have, well, they have a mini split, looks like.
Right.
But I mean, oh, here we go. Here's a good
Yeah.
one.
Yeah, that's a good one right there.
So
Wow.
that's kind of an idea how there is no reason that this day and age with the technology that we have that you can't find deals anymore.
That's right.
I don't know. Is there anybody on this call that's been doing this a long, long time? If you have, like he says, he's like, or she said, this used to take hours and hours and hours and notebooks of research. So there's really no reason why you can't find properties, but that's one easy way. You could skip trace them to find their phone number. Or you could send a piece of mail directly from our software right from here. All right. I don't see any other questions. So I'm going to let you guys. Okay. Donald's got one more.
One more question. Yeah. So if I'm looking at pre-foreclosures, do I use the pre-foreclosure script and try to establish a connection and then talk about the property?
Absolutely. Like I would suggest definitely establishing that relationship because
Okay.
that's what's going to set you apart. I mean, people do business with who they know and who they trust, right?
Of course.
So that's how I set myself away from it because I actually do care about people. I do
Okay.
care about making good transactions with people. So somebody doesn't want to be came at like, this is what I'm going to give you for my property.
Of
You
course.
know what I mean? They want to relate. This is one of the biggest things that they own in their life. So they want to do business with somebody they trust.
Okay. Okay.
Yes, sir. Hey, Bob.
Hi, Julie. How are you?
Good.
Quick question. I live in Maryland, and we have this crazy law where you can't solicit or approach people in pre-foreclosure. So I can't send out yellow letters or anything like that. How would you suggest getting around that? Or is there any way to get around it? To contact somebody in pre-foreclosure?
I mean, it's kind of, it could be very difficult, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I call them anyway.
Right.
Not a great answer though.
Right. Yeah, because it's, I mean.
But you can market though, but Bobby, you can market. Can you market, but not market directly to somebody? Can you market to the general public?
I guess you could, but you can't really act in the role of you're helping somebody in pre-foreclosure.
Well, then why don't you send a message that don't even mention if they're in pre-foreclosure.
Right. My way of trying to get around it would be to, call them up or send them a letter saying that I'm interested in buying, houses in your neighborhood. Would you be interested in selling?
Yeah,
Now,
because then you're not
I-
targeting them. It's like, I don't care if
Right.
you're in pre-foreclosure or not.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I've even, asked my attorney about it, and he's more of just don't even bother with, trying to.
Well, I mean, it's really a shame. It's because of like what I said earlier about wholesalers maybe not having the right mentality and think that's why these laws come into effect, is because not everybody has the right heart or mentality going into something,
Right.
and it kind of ruins it for everybody else.
Yeah. So I had one investor tell me, well, just go to Virginia, my next door neighbor,
Or Pennsylvania.
or Pennsylvania. Yeah.
I do lots of deals in PA.
Yeah.
It's a great state.
Yeah. I mean, I'm right in the middle of both those states. So it's
Wait a minute. I just did a pre-foreclosure in Maryland. In Maryland. I wonder how my partner got that one. Ed Lindsay just did one there. Like 6 months ago. I don't remember.
Edward Lindsay. I know. I went to school with Edward Lindsay.
But he lives in Pennsylvania, but it's like right on the line or something.
Yeah. Not sure it's the same one, but yeah, I'd love to know how that transaction took place.
Yeah, I would tell you, but I just really legit don't remember how he got it. I remember the deal.
Right.
It was an older lady in pre-foreclosure. It was a hoarder and had 23 cats.
Hmm.
And we literally had to get all the cats adopted first, clean up the house, find her another place to live. So, and the whole reason she didn't want to sell was because she didn't have somewhere for her cats to go. So we had to figure out the cats before anything else.
Right. Well, if there's
Real
enough-
estate's a kooky business sometimes, but I love it.
Yeah. All right. Well,
Humane Society.
Yeah. Well, thank you guys. And listen, I am here every Thursday, either myself or another member of DealDriven. On behalf of DealDriven, guys, we really appreciate your business. We want to help you here at DealDriven, and we hope that your experience today and with our software makes you long-term customers. So we appreciate your business. Thank you and have a wonderful day, guys. Bye-bye.